Chicago, welcome into the Chicago Sports Podcast presented by Coors Light. What's up, everyone? I am Kevin Kaduk, head of content at CHGO. To my left is Mark the Carman. Behind the board is Lawrence Benedetto. It's a Thursday afternoon, March, Chicago, West Loop.
Kevin, I don't want to stop the intro here, but I do want to let you know that as I wear my QB slide shirt today, and we all know that things might perhaps be trending in a way that QB slide is going to be sliding in another uniform next year.
QB slide shirt might go the way of the Cy Cease shirt.
Yeah, that's yes. But I recently was at CHGO Locker and perusing all of our elements, all of the availability, and I decided that, you know what, I am buying the blue.
I have both.
I'm wearing the gray, but I leaned in, and now I've got the blue on the way. So even if he's going away, I'm still celebrating him.
So you're paying full sticker on the blue QB slide shirt.
It wasn't full sticker. It was significantly discounted because I think upper management, WU, is realizing that.
Is it marked down?
It's significantly marked down. Really? Yes, yeah, they were like $10. So I'm like, $10.
Stock up, man. That's still a great shirt.
Still a great shirt.
It's a good memory in time.
Good memory in time. Lawrence, can I get you one?
No, thanks. I got the gray.
There you go.
That's all it is.
There you go.
I'm not a gray T-shirt wearer. Too sweaty. Can't do it.
Yeah, okay.
Well, if you're like Carmen, you just wear 7 things under it. Like he is now.
It's not summer yet. And I don't want to intimidate people with the guns that I got rocking here. I mean, this is I put a lot of time into this pod. All right, back to you, Kevin. Now you can.
A lot of time. I want to thank Carm. I had a root canal this morning.
What?
I had a root canal.
This morning?
This morning.
Why are you here? I would not be here the next week and a half.
Novocaine wore off during the middle of a meeting I was in a lot of pain. I came out. Adam Hogue gave me 2 a leave. Went across the street. I was hungry. I could finally chew. So I went to the West Loop Poke.
Sure, that's a softer meal. Yeah, good palate for you.
It was delicious. I was
in the window was Mark, the Carman,
in their solo, hanging out.
So we had lunch together. We got out of there. I said my tooth hurt. He said, "Let me buy you an ice cream cone." So we walked across and
nice.
had a cone together.
$8 cone place. Love that place.
$8 cone place. I mean, everything's $8 now. It's unbelievable. Is this ever going to go back?
I feel like
the other
everything
way?
is $18 now.
Yeah, $9 cone to $13 beer. Chicken sandwich at like your standard like crap Chicago place is like $16 now. What happened in the days of $8.95? Where did $5.95 go? Seriously.
We need to go back to Vegas, that $10.99 prime rib spot.
That would have been there. Now that's an idea.
That was some shitty casino in Fremont.
Yeah, but that was from like 11 p.m. to 3 a.m. The prime rib, $10.99 special.
That's just what you need.
There's nothing prime about that rib.
Yeah, well, that's probably true.
Got a good show for you today. We're gonna just kind of mess around, talk about vice presidential candidates among the Chicago athlete crowd, not the national crowd that maybe RFK Jr. is picking from right now. We're going to talk about Caleb and Justin because that's, we're legally required to do so.
I can't wait.
We're going to talk about Dylan Cease moving on from the Chicago White Sox, being freed, and now he gets to live in San Diego. Play disc golf out there.
Yeah, 4th and 7th best prospects. Ouch.
5th, 7th, and 8th, I thought, right?
Okay, 5th, 7th, and 8th, right. I read 4th and 7th. But okay.
I don't know. I thought it was 5, 7, 8, and some random reliever, some 29-year-old.
I'm sure it'll be,
I mean, it doesn't matter, honestly. Let's be honest. It's a stupid move by a terrible organization that's a clown show that doesn't actually care about winning, even though they're in Chicago,
right?
Which is pathetic. That's one of our
Michael
teams.
Kopech's in the bullpen now. That was like,
Yeah, I would slightly push back on Lawrence here and say that the White Sox are actually living in reality and they're trying to take one of their last remaining assets to turn it into something for the future versus setting them out
what
there.
What happened to, we're going to contend in the entirety of this decade. Our window is wide open, blah, blah, blah,
that's
whatever.
so crazy.
That's so 8 years ago now at this point. Like, even though it was...
it was like 5...
It was going into
3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
It was. I'm just saying, like, going into last year, you had that philosophy that the White Sox weren't.
I've never seen a window open and shut faster.
I agree. But
I don't know if we're just going to get into this conversation now about the White Sox.
I mean, but the thing is that you have to live in the now, and the now is they're terrible. You're going to hang on to Dylan Cease for what reason?
No, I agree.
So,
And after next season, he'll want a new contract. Jerry's not cutting that check. You're getting it,
it just
whether or not these prospects pan out, we don't know. I mean, I can't sit here and tell you that they will. I thought the return that they got for Chris Sale when they started the last rebuild,
that was phenomenal.
Yoan Moncada and Michael Kopech, that was great. And those guys have been up here. They haven't really done a lot.
No,
Moncada's had his moments.
Yep.
Kopech's just been.
Now the plan's to make him bunt from the 2-hole. In the year 2024 of our Lord, we're going to be bunting. That's the play. That's
so
smart.
Crazy. It's Chris Getz, man. I was worried though because I figured, okay, they made a trade with the Padres. It's probably going to be a former Royal, and who's a Padre? Who was a former Royal?
Eric Hosmer?
James Shields.
Yes, Eric Hosmer, good call.
Yeah.
James Shields.
Yeah.
James Shields that was a joke, right?
James Shields was a former Royal who was a Padre.
He's not in that trade, right?
Oh, no. I was saying, like, I was worried that was
going
to be the return with the way that, the proclivity that this organization has for former Royals now.
Chris Getz is going after ALLCITY's Escobar, and, I mean, we do have Mike Moustakas, and hopefully he'll have a huge year.
I want Billy Butler.
I loved Billy Butler.
I want Ken Harvey.
Just give me Jermaine Dye back.
Geronimo.
Sure.
Johnny Damon.
Geronimo Baroa. Not Geronimo Baroa. Angel Baroa.
Sure. How about Frank White?
Would have been good if they got Lorenzo Cain. Let's name. But
Frank White's the mayor of Kansas City, Kansas now.
Their starting rotation is so terrible. Is Brett Saberhagen still able to throw 5 innings?
Saberhagen.
Zach Greinke. You might not know this about me, Kevin, but you actually probably do, but in our Kansas City Times, which we didn't exactly overlap, but I was the Chris Getz fan on the Nick Wright afternoon show. Like, I took Getz on as my guy.
He was like your David Eckstein, probably. Yeah.
I just enjoyed him.
Scrappy.
He was scrappy, hit ninth, steal some bases. He was relaxed and cool and easy to talk to. Spring training clubhouses, regular clubhouses. So I just took Getz on because he was nice to me, and I like a scrappy baseball player. And then, I started screaming that Getz has more power than you think, and he might have hit one homer as a Royal, but he did have the one. And now, of course, he's in charge of making the White Sox good again, which is the toughest job in the history of sports.
So you love athletes who are nice to you. If an athlete calls you by name or even looks you in the eye,
oh my God,
they have a fan for life. My question for you though is,
oh my God,
if you say my name, it's all over.
Has there ever been an athlete who was at first nice to you and then turned and was mean to you?
Good question. There's one athlete who sometimes he's your best friend.
Yeah.
And then the next day it's like he's never seen you before in his life.
Happened, yeah.
And so that one was always weird. But
who was that?
I don't know if I want to out him. Okay, fine. It's BJ Armstrong.
There you go.
Like BJ and I.
Okay, Beej.
Hawkeye. We would play like pickup hoop in the summer back in the day at the good old.
You clearly are guarding him. I mean,
I did.
You got it. Height wise, I feel like that's a good matchup for you.
Yeah, well, we were right there, and I at the time when I was in college, in my head I thought I was quicker than BJ, which is a crazy comment, but it wasn't. He wasn't BJ wasn't the fastest point guard in the NBA, so I thought I could go by him, and I tried, and he just put his arm on me, and that was the end of that. But regardless, like sometimes it was like we were like buddies, like besties. And then the next day he'd like, I'm like, no, we were best friends yesterday.
You lost your number.
Yeah, are we in this together? But I've done some radio with BJ. I've done some podcasting with BJ. I'm a BJ fan, all that. But
big fan of BJ.
Yeah. Oh, it's the spirit of the week. Did you see Hands Down on Twitter?
Yeah, I don't know. Can we not get into that? It's just, I can't believe that was said more than once on that show, and now it's like a thing.
I have no idea what you're talking about, and
I'm
going to follow Lawrence's lead and not go down that path.
It's ridiculous, and
I don't think you understand the context of what happened.
I was watching. It came out, and it's like now you just keep saying it over and over and over.
Okay.
My mom listens to that show. Okay.
Your mom's fine. I miss
Barbara Graham. What about Barbara Graham?
That's an excellent point.
But
we were just celebrating the large neck that was Mike Glennon.
Yeah.
He has an elite neck, and that turned into some other things. But
didn't do much for his quarterbacking though.
No, but he could see. He had you can't blame his lack of success on his inability to see over the line of scrimmage.
I always thought he looked like Glass Joe from Mike Tyson.
That was a great game.
He was the Merton Hanks of quarterbacks.
There you go.
Merton
Hanks.
We're just gonna rechristen this podcast the Remembering Some Guy Chicago podcast.
Favorite memories of Merton Hanks, Mike Glennon, and or Dylan Cease. Hit up the chat. Join Alejandro De Jesus. Thank you, Alejandro.
I know he's compliment for my hair. Kevin giving Nicholas Moriano a run for his money with the hairdo.
You are going big today.
That's all I try to do here.
You got product in there today?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, looks good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anyway.
Vice presidential candidates in the Chicago athlete pool. Aaron Rodgers is a reported possible candidate for RFK Jr. in this fall's presidential race because, of course, he is. I don't think he's a very good candidate. You probably don't think he's a good candidate.
I don't.
I know Lawrence thinks he's not a good candidate, even though he could be a body double for the Secret Service.
The swear words that want to come out of my mouth right now.
So my pledge to you are: let's say you're going to run for president this year, Carman. I think you should give it strong consideration.
Thank you.
I think you might have a chance, but only if you pick the right Chicago athlete to be your vice presidential candidate. Do you want to go who your candidates for the candidate would be, or do you just have one guy or girl you want to get to right away?
Well, so I'm thinking about a couple people, but here I can roll through my list. Okay. Number one, I do have a stop at the Chicago Bulls, and unfortunately he's dealing with a little bit of a hip injury, but I think he'll be able to be back on Saturday. Kobe White is a guy that's gone through a lot in his life and has perspective. He was able to stay positive through being a starter, being off the bench, almost being out of town, kept his head together, now a leader, now a starter, playing the best ball of his life. I think that's somebody that we can all get behind.
I like that idea, right? Because he was comfortable playing the second fiddle. Mm-hmm. He produced in that role. But let's say you have a good 2 terms.
Yep.
He's willing to step up and take the office once you have to move on, as is constitutionally required.
Exactly. And in the same spirit, that's what Nico Horner's done. Mm-hmm. Nico Horner, thank you. Whatever I just said. Nico Horner has been a shortstop. He's been a second baseman. He's batted at the bottom of the lineup. He's batted at the top of the lineup. He's always been positive about the Cubs, himself, his role, his talents. Mm-hmm. And the Cubs have been a near playoff team like last year, and the Cubs have been down. So Nico can ride through the tough times.
The double play combination in the Oval Office.
That's right.
Carm and Nico. 2024.
Yep. I enjoy what Nico Horner brings to the table. And then when my bear that has done the same thing, ups, downs, arounds, shines as super strong and has also learned a lot. I think his journey is inspiring. Is our now left guard Tevin Jenkins.
Okay.
Tevin came in, was a lot of love for Tevin, traded up to get him, Things went sideways. Things went even more sideways when the Flus got here, demoted the whole thing. We're moving you. You're no longer a left tackle. We're moving you inside, the whole thing. And Tevin looked in the mirror and said to himself, I got to be a better Tevin, and that's what he did. So Tevin being the best for himself will be the best for the country. Tevin Jenkins, ladies and
we
gentlemen.
remember when Justin Fields, that late hit, Minnesota game 2 years ago, maybe?
Yep.
Who was the first person in there to
Exactly right.
That's when Chicago Bears fandom fell in love with Tevin Jenkins.
Right. Physical.
And I think it was like Jermaine Ifedi, didn't want anything to do with it.
Sounds.
So I like that. And so you have a vice president and a little extra secret service help as well.
3 good candidates. Hard to pick.
So who are you picking?
Well, I think I'm going for the pure raw honesty, and I think the biggest upper end talent. And for me right now, that's Kobe.
Okay.
I'm a little, I'm sure this injury little blip here is going to be nothing. But Kobe, every time I talk to Kobe, he shoots you straight. And that's what I need, is somebody that's going to be with me every day.
Okay.
And I also can use someone who will, garner some attention. And for nothing else, Kobe's got an elite hairdo. The guy looks good. So me and Kobe running.
So he gets the vice president nod.
Yeah.
If you guys win, Tevin Jenkins gets Secretary of the Interior.
Yep.
And then Horner gets Secretary of Defense.
Yep, that's right. There it is.
Lawrence, do you have
No, hard pass. I have nothing for you. I'm sorry. I've been very busy today. I'll just say Nick Foligno for everything.
I was going to say, well, I wanted to bring up with you. You made the graphic for this podcast, and it looks great.
Oh, yeah.
I think you had Mallory Pugh on there, right?
I did.
So what would her case be?
She's awesome. Period. End of story. I don't know. I have no idea. I just thought we needed a woman on there.
Don't know anything about her platform or her issues?
Her platform is she rules, and she can score a lot of goals.
I like it. You brought up Nick Foligno. Nick Foligno was a guy who jumped to mind. He was actually in our office today on the CHO Blackhawks podcast, and I think we see the leadership skills that he has. People are kind of clamoring for him to maybe be the captain in between Taves and Bedard. I think for good reason. And we see he's kind of become Connor's bodyguard / conciliary.
Dad.
Yeah.
Conciliary. Yeah.
So I think Nick Foligno's up there for me.
I like it. I mean, if we're going in-house, Cole Kmet should have been mentioned by me.
Okay.
He's presidential. He's too beautiful to be vice president.
That's kind of fair, too. But Cole,
I think you need a fun guy. I think you need a cheerleader in that role. So I was also thinking about Eloy Jimenez. I don't know how
Hi, Mom.
his residential.
That's what Eli says.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know how his his national status would affect that, but I think we could probably. Do you have to be a citizen to be the vice president?
I would assume you have to be if you have to be.
If you're in line for presidency,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
No. This is in our world. If you've been on the White Sox for more than 2 years, that's like 58 years in living in the U.S. So you're in.
So we'll give one to him.
I like that call. Eloy is, if nothing else, incredibly likable.
That's all I'm rooting for at this point with the White Sox. Just let me see, have that guy be healthy and make a run at 30 home runs. I'm not even going to be greedy and say 40.
We will be going to this show. Damn it. We'll be going to some White Sox action this year, at least one time in the scout seats.
I think we're going to be getting a lot of scout seats this year.
The options are probably going to be plenty, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I enjoy that. My mother-in-law is a huge White Sox fan. I think she would like to watch a game from there. So if you would like to take Peggy to one of them,
Peggy,
by all means.
have at it. I will.
My father-in-law, though, he won't want to go. He's a Cubs fan.
Yeah, well, everybody's a Cubs fan until you get to sit in the scout seats. When you're going fifth row, all you can eat, all you can drink, you can be a White Sox fan for a day. It's no problem.
All right. Let us know your pick for your vice presidential candidate from the Chicago Athletes. Right now, I want to tell you about Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America. It is the easiest and most exciting way to play DFS. It's just you against the numbers. Instead of battling thousands of other players, including pros and sharks, You pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections. Just watch the winnings roll in. I mean, the one thing I'm kind of looking forward to, I've talked about it on the show, is just it's a kind of a good way if you're tuned into, the Blackhawks aren't playing for anything right now. Bulls aren't playing for a lot, but it's a good way to kind of lock into a game. You pick more than, less than for Connor Bedard points.
Sure.
Tip, you might want to pick more than.
Oh, I went a little shots. Over on shots was my big win the other night. I was a little concerned going into the third.
Did you get it?
I needed over 3.5. More than 3.5. I apologize. And he only had 3 at that point. But thank goodness he had double stuff attempt there. Got it to 5, and I was like, yes, even if they take one out, still got 4. Win.
I love it. I mean, it's just such a great way to play. It's very easy. You can do it very quickly. Conference tournaments are this weekend.
They sure are.
So they've got men's college basketball. When the women's college tournament rolls around, I think their conference tournaments are done. But when that rolls around, they also have women's over-under, so you can roll something up on Caitlin Clark, Iowa basketball. And the cool thing is Prize Picks even offers injury insurance, so your entries stay in even if one of your players gets injured. For football and basketball games, if you have a player who exits the game in the first half and does not return in the second, that player projection does not count against you, and the rest of your entry stays live. Right now, you should go to prizepicks.com/CHGO and use code CHGO for a first deposit match up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/CHGO and use code CHGO. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy.
And we haven't talked about the college bucket news of the day to back up off of that, but we'll get to that in a second, I guess, with DePaul making some moves. But let me first tell you about our friends at Ray Chevrolet. They are sharing their best offer all month long with their auto show sales event. Head on over to Ray Chevrolet on Route 12 in Fox Lake. Join in on the savings. One of the top-selling Chevy dealers in the Midwest. You'll always be able to shop one of Chicagoland's largest Chevy inventories. Plus, you can find the perfect tailgate vehicle at Ray Chevy because they're offering 0% financing for 72 months on the new Silverados with over 100 available. And to top it all off, by the way, they're pricing over 125 vehicles under $20,000. Seriously, come on. Can prices get more affordable than that? I know everyone loves the word free also, and that's what you get this month at Ray Chevy in Fox Lake. It's a free oil change. All you need to do is mention CHGO when scheduling your oil change. Start off the new year right and schedule it by February the 29th, which was 15 days ago. Good job, Carm. Bottom line, they have continued that, so you can get a free oil change. Visit Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake or raychevrolet.com. Serving the community since 1963. Find new roads. Chris Holtmann, 6-year deal to be the head coach of DePaul.
That's crazy.
Oh, man.
Why did he leave Ohio State?
He got fired.
He got fired.
He got fired.
Yeah. He was asked to leave. That's why.
Okay.
He was dismissed. And Ohio State.
I don't know a lot about him.
Yeah.
I know the name. I know that he was at Ohio State.
Butler, right? Butler to Ohio State.
Yeah, and I listen. I've sat behind him and watched him coach, and was in the Big Ten tournament last year. This is a very anecdotal Chris Holtmann, but I was impressed on that day with how he took care of his team. Now the Buckeyes this year were a lot better when Chris Holtmann walked out the door. Yeah. So I don't know what was going on with DePaul and Porter Moser and
apparently all fake. Porter shot that down.
Yeah, but it wasn't fake. I know off the record people that were involved in that, and conversations were happening. Now, I don't know how it went sideways, but that did
Maybe
feel...
because it leaked?
That's possible.
Yeah.
That's possible. But...
I have a hard time thinking Red Auerbach could, resurrect that program at this point.
I mean, yes, but you wouldn't have thought Loyola was going to be what they've been able to do.
Yeah, that's who we should be talking about is Drew Valentine.
Yeah, it's been great. I mean,
well, even before that, I mean, Porter.
Well, I know. I'm just saying, Drew Valentine, he's been able to continue it, and they've stepped up in class. They're in the
conference,
Atlantic 10. Yeah.
I just think you look at the programs that DePaul plays, and you see the resources that DePaul allocates versus the budgets.
So let me give you the my theory of how a school like DePaul could be competitive.
Okay.
What do you think? Do we have numbers on what they're paying Chris Holtman? Do you see that anywhere?
I've not seen it.
So well, what do you think? This 6-year deal. Let's just say for argument's sake, they're paying him $3 million. Okay, $3 million sound about relatively right. $2 million, whatever. Let's call it 3, just for my math here. Actually, let's call it.
I thought it was gonna be like 4 or 5. Honestly, I don't know what. I feel like coaches make too much money these days. But
well, they do. But so I'm just gonna call it $3 million. Okay. Now there are a lot of young coaches out there, right, that would like the opportunity to coach the DePaul Blue Demons and stamp themselves. I know one in particular who's not that young, who is coaching the University of St. Francis in Ryan Marks, who's won wherever he wants to go. Or wherever he's been, D3, D2, D1, he's won games. Now, if you could get a coach to come in to DePaul, right, and work for $250, okay? Now, instead of spending the $3 million, you have $2.75. You take that.
Wait, you think someone's going to be a head coach of a basketball team for $250,000 in the year 2024?
Yes, I think you find a lot of people. People would like to make $250,000. And it gives you an opportunity. The coach that is coaching the Oakton Community College, you think he's not taking that gig for $250?
So you're going to bring in the guy from Oakton Community College for $250,000 a year?
I'm going.
Do you ever hear the phrase "you get what you pay for"?
Yep. That yes and no though. All I got to.
And then the minute that guy, on the rare chance that the guy experiences any success, he's out the door.
Right. That's right. But at that point, maybe the program has been. Listen, would you agree that coaching a college basketball team, if you have good players, there's a decent chance you're going to win games and be relevant, way more relevant than DePaul has been. Fair enough.
How are you going to recruit players with a guy from Oakton Community College?
I'm going to recruit them because college basketball. I think that universities. Hold on, I know you're laughing at this, but listen to me. The calculus has changed. Mm-hmm. You can pay players. You don't have to pay the big time coach anymore. Take the money that you were going to pay the big time coach, and pay the players. Give me the 2.75 that I just didn't.
And just roll the basketballs out
with somebody who knows how. Give me a good high school basketball coach who understands the game and can create an offense. Yeah. Don't put me there, even though I could do it. But don't Donald Trump.
Wouldn't you like to make $250,000?
Yes, I would. So I'm telling you, you take rather than if you're a school like DePaul, I would rather allocate the whatever you're paying a coach. I'd rather put that into NIL. Get yourself. At $3 million, you could have 6 players who are making $500K, and you're telling me that I can go pay $500,000 for 6 dudes, and you're telling me that I'm not winning? I think I can win. And by the way, I'll do it, and then all of a sudden I'm making $250. Now I've won at DePaul. Now I'm getting whatever I get elsewhere, and then DePaul just do the same formula again. Find the next guy.
I don't think that's going to work.
It's a better formula than what they're doing over there.
But I do see a point where, okay, if you do get someone who can actually master NIL, that is the cheat code out of it. I mean, it's a cheat code for any school out of it. I mean, Florida A&M got to a Final Four because of NIL, right?
Right.
Miami, same sort of thing, bought themselves a good team.
Buy yourself a team.
So whether or not DePaul's booster pockets are deep enough, and I would say that they aren't, given their lack of success the last 25 to 30 years. I do see what you're saying, but you're just not going to hire a coach for $250,000. You still need a good coach. You still need a person to be able to I mean, when's the last time their relationship with the Chicago Public League has just never been anything.
Right.
Since Joey Meyer.
Bring back Joey, R.I.P. Love him.
Such a bummer.
Yeah. Well, okay. There's my good luck to Chris Holtman and the DePaul.
It would be so great to see DePaul back on top. It'd be great to see DePaul, a resurgent DePaul, in that red line rivalry with Loyola.
Well, I mean, yes, and look, the Ramblers made the Final Four. The Northwestern's going to a back-to-back tournament. That's like historic in Evanston.
Right.
Illinois' got a shot to do it this year. So, I don't know. Sylvie showing up at Southern Illinois locker rooms, even though they just got rid of their coach.
The Salukis.
But yes, it would be sweet if we could get Loyola going, UIC, whatnot. I don't understand why we can't get the holiday. I do understand why, but I wish we could get past the reasons that we have created. Let's have a nice holiday tournament right here.
What are the reasons?
Scheduling. They don't want to play each other. Where is it going to be? Different levels.
That's all stupid.
It's
at the
all.
United Center.
I agree. You
get your 14.
It'd be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like the Big Five in Philly. Let's go. Play each other.
You could do it.
What are you doing?
Yeah, no. I agree. And a lot of them want to do it. I mean, I talked to Loyola last year. They want to do it. I think Chris would be open to it. For whatever reason, it hasn't gotten done. I wish it would.
Does Holtman have any Chicago ties? No.
I'm not sure. I don't
Probably not. Never heard. I mean, never heard
Again,
that
he was at Butler. I don't know what his route was before that.
Okay.
And Butler's not Chicago.
Hey, everyone. Our March 26th Blackhawks takeover, the United Center, only has 2 tickets left. And this is maybe kind of an oldish thing. So
really? I thought that sold out.
I don't know.
I mean, we've been talking about that being sold out for like a week on the Blackhawks show.
Okay. Well, sorry to say, but you can go to our NFL draft party, 2-night event, April 25th and 26th.
There you go.
Also, MLB opening weekend, we have our CHGO Sox home opener at Ballpark Pub on March 28th, 2 weeks from today. And then the away home opener for the Cubs at the Country Club. Check out our events page at allchgo.com for details on all of those. You can reserve your spot, buy tickets for the draft party. Also, make sure you consider becoming a diehard. We all know that here at CHGO, we have podcasts and live shows on every team every day for you, post-game shows. But when you sign up to become a diehard, you get premium written content at allchgo.com, newsletters for your favorite team in your inbox, no matter who you support. You also get 20% off events and all of our merch, including our Chicago collection, which is flying off the shelves. And you get a free shirt when you become a member. So anything on there you can pick, or just go to chgolocker.com and pick what you like there. You can even get that QB slide one, although I wouldn't recommend that because it's heavily discounted. You also get access to our members-only Discord, the CHGO Lounge, which is a great place to hang out. And go check it out right now at allchgo.com/diehard. Appreciate all our diehards out there.
Hey, you shouldn't have to worry when you're buying tickets to your next big event. Download the Game Time ticket app. Game Time is the fastest and easiest way to buy tickets for sports, for music, for comedy, and theater events near you. Killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, their best price guarantee. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. Last-minute tickets, flash deals, zone deals. Zone deals are super cool. You get about 18% off. You'll sit in between this section and that section. Now, you're not going to know exactly which section you'll be in or what row, but it's a way to get in for a great value. And yes, I do love their lowest price guarantee as well. You find a ticket price on another secondary ticket operation that's better, Game Time will match it and add on 10%. Download the Game Time ticket app right now. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets. You create an account and then you use your code CHGO. You get $20 off your first purchase. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed.
Let's go.
Let's go. Love Game Time.
So is Hogue okay after today's Bears pod?
I don't know. It's been a rough week for Hogue. He's been beaten. He's been
The Caleb Justin stress is real.
Listen, the mansion, as we like to call him, he can handle a lot. But these Bears Twitter times have become different than they've ever been before. Throw in what Twitter is nowadays, and throw in the Caleb Justin, and throw in perhaps having to be on a show with myself and Braggs, and it's It's been tough for Adam this week. Might have to send him some flowers.
Just on vacation, but I feel like he needs another one. Right?
You might need another one.
I was on vacation. I enjoyed it.
Cheers to vacation.
I don't know what that is.
I did book 3 days for myself sometime coming up. I forgot the dates, but I'm planning on perhaps doing it. Although
bring Lawrence with you. Sounds like
you want to come to tennis camp.
Are you paying?
Sure, why not? Let's go.
Let's do it.
You want to come? Okay, great. You can sit at the pool all day.
Yeah, I'm in.
Figure out what's for dinner. Drive around the rental car.
I'm in.
We're going down to Tampa.
That sounds great.
Yep. Okay, great.
Hitting partner.
Yeah.
Well, he's listen. The guy's got great ping pong talents. You can step into the.
I'm sure it could translate. Yeah.
Sure. Why not?
So, how are you dealing with the Caleb Justin vitriol?
Not that great. I mean, this is the candy world, as the toy department, as we like to say. So none of this matters, and water off a duck's back.
Yeah.
If people are getting upset out there about, I mean, we've been more than celebratory for Justin and what he's been, and I'm wearing his T-shirt and staying with Fields and don't boo him and rooting for him.
That's what's like annoying me. It's like, oh, these guys hate Justin Fields.
No,
like,
we don't.
You're not even watching this shit then.
Right,
like,
you're not.
Because literally anytime you guys bring the thing up on, it's qualified with, we love Justin as a person. We think Justin is a starting quarterback. This is a unique situation. We have the number 1 overall pick. You can reset the quarterback clock.
Yeah, and
what don't you understand?
Right, and I put it out there, which everybody laughed at me at the time. Maybe like the same thing of the Chris Holtman or sign your random coach take. But I said, go to Justin right now and offer him a really team-friendly deal.
Right.
Because he's going to be in the wilderness, and you might be able to get it done. And he looks like he's going to be in the wilderness. There isn't one team in the NFL that seems like they're stepping up to make him a starter. I know that 3% of Twitter thinks that it's just because the Bears are holding on to him. So he did that too. Mm-hmm. But, I do think it's interesting, the Sam Howell trade coming down today.
To Seattle.
And it was a bunch of swap picks. Mm-hmm. So that feels like a framework of a deal for Justin at this point. You send Justin somewhere and you move up some spots in the 3rd round, you move up some spots in the 5th round, and that's what the Bears end up getting for Fields. But it also feels like this thing is going to still play out for a little while.
Did we just completely misread the trade market for him?
We did. A lot of people did, at least. I did. I misread it as of a week ago. Originally, I thought he'd go for a 2nd-round pick. Okay, that's wrong. Then I made a bet that he wouldn't. Gary Ross is going to have to pay up. Can't wait for that. And then this past week, somebody asked me on some radio show that I was popping on, Mad Dog Sports Radio. What's up, Carrington Harrison? He asked me. I said, I bet they. I said they'll trade him for a 3rd and a future 5th, and that was way too tall.
Yeah,
it could be a 5th and a future 5th. And now you look at it, well, maybe it's just going to be. I mean, Sam Howell is 23 years old. He threw for 3,900 yards last year, 21 touchdowns, 21 interceptions. Now, granted, okay, fine. How many did he rush for? Well, he rushed for 263 yards. Justin rushed for close to 700. Mm-hmm. Their QB ratings are identical. They're both young quarterbacks. I get it. The field's way more talented, but you telling me they're getting a whole lot more for a guy that showed, almost 4,000 yards on a Washington team? It feels pretty close.
The whole thing is just fascinating too, because I think we just kind of undersold the idea or overestimated the idea that you would be able to get a 1st or 2nd-round pick for an asset that you clearly have to get rid of.
Right, who's got a tricky contract to navigate. Mm-hmm. But it is. That was the other part of it that I was trying to think might actually look. You don't have to pick up his 5th-year option. You pay him $2.7 million next year. If he's phenomenal, you can do one of two things: franchise tag him. Yeah, okay, that's a high salary, but it's only for 1 year, or work out a contract with him. But nobody seems to want to turn their offense over to Justin the way he wants to or needs to play for a year. And Bears fans, I love you. Guy's never thrown for more than 2,563 yards. It's just, I mean, it's at some point it is what it is. And everyone who watches him would say that he does not throw with anticipation. Mm-hmm. He doesn't. So the league's telling you what they think. And even Zach Zaidman yesterday out of nowhere.
That was odd.
The guy never speaks out on anything. And he's throwing a screaming tweet out there at Bears fans for the guy that used to cover him on the sidelines 7 years ago. So this is like getting to everyone. Zaidman cracked yesterday.
I didn't say that.
Yeah.
It was very out of character. I was like, at first I had to look that it wasn't a parody account.
Man, if you're doing a Zach Zaidman a parody account,
he was basically like, "Shut up! He's worth nothing. The NFL told you so." Now stop. I'm like, Zaidman. Wow. Okay,
off
then.
the top rope.
Okay, then.
It's a weird time. The NFL draft is still 6 weeks away too.
Right. We can. Hey, this could go all the way. I don't think that Ryan Poles is going to let it drag out that far. Yeah. But I think it is going to drag out to the pro day next week for whatever reason. So, and I know that
you got to meet him more, right? You got to see more. You haven't really. I mean, you talked about the combine, but Caleb, this is, but like.
Well, yeah, you do, but you'd make a deal if you were getting any real value. But since you're not, then okay, I'll wait. Do you think it's better for us or worse for us from a content standpoint if they keep him? Because if they
to keep Justin,
you're not getting anything for him.
You're just going to keep him on the roster, but also draft Caleb.
Yeah, let him compete.
Oh, that's great.
It's
going to be so toxic and awful. But that
would be good content.
I don't think it would be good for our mental health. I think it would be great. Oh no,
we've just discussed Adam Hogue breaking, and now Zach Zaidman's broken, and everyone's broken. It's not great.
But I think,
but for the content,
yeah. And so they're.
I told Carman at lunch. It's not even necessarily this debate that has broken Bears fans. I just think it's been the last 38 years, because I don't think people would be going as crazy as they are if you had some recent success in your rearview mirror. I mean, there's just.
There's that.
The city is so hungry for the Bears, not only to be relevant, but just good for a prolonged time. And I understand Caleb Williams is a gamble. Any draft pick is a gamble, but I don't think we're getting to that prolonged success with Justin. And Caleb, there is a chance for that.
Yeah, and look, if it doesn't work out, you can't fault the Bears. You had the number 1 overall pick. You took the consensus number 1 overall quarterback.
Heisman winner from 2 years ago, the guy who everyone's been talking about in this draft for, over a year, that, Caleb Williams. He's a quote-unquote generational talent. It's not like a mistake to go that route.
I mean, if they did the other thing, let's say they trade 1 to 2. The Commanders let them get what they want. Commanders got 7,000 picks that you could be picking off right now. Then let's just dream up that Arizona wants, not Arizona, that
New England.
That New England, excuse me, thank you. That New England wants somebody at 2. You could literally go 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to who wants to jump up from there? Maybe you take Marvin at 3 at that point, and you've got all these picks, and you're sticking with the big Justin. And if it doesn't work out, you're looking for the vet quarterback next year,
Mike Lennon.
But if Caleb Williams is the guy, then you'll regret it for the rest of your life, because there is no amount of picks that you could give up to get the right guy, which is what they're hoping that he is.
Yeah. Well, tune in next week as we talk to Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Good discussion. It's Cats versus Badgers tomorrow, buddy.
Is it?
It sure is.
In the Big Ten tournament?
In the Big Ten tournament.
I need to start boning up on my college basketball.
Yeah. Well,
I've got a neighbor wanting me to start a pool for the neighborhood.
Okay.
I got to be honest. I don't even know if I want to fill out a bracket this year. I have friends, I ran one for 15 years and it was great and I loved it and I loved the tournament, but I haven't covered the NCAA now in 2 years and I haven't watched
I kind of want to fill out a women's one
at all.
I think a women's one would be fun.
Do either of you want my square? You want to split my square in the Adam Harris square?
I don't know what this means. Like you're talking any game ends in whatever square you have.
Yeah.
You get money for it.
It pays out whatever it pays out. $75. I'd sell myself my square if you want to do it that way and not have to fill out a bracket. Just go for luck.
Honestly, as little as even when I was consciously following, I would end up middle of the pack because I end up just picking Kentucky to go deep and then they lose in the third round or some BS.
I'm going to do Joe Ostrowski does a March Madness Survivor. You have to pick just one team every single day, which is a lot of fun because you can't pick like number one right off the bat because then you're kind of screwed later and maybe you pick Purdue and they lose to
Let's go, yeah. Fairleigh Dickinson.
That would be Fairleigh Dickinson.
I mean,
if you beat the Cats tomorrow, which hopefully you won't, but if you do, you'll play Purdue on Saturday.
Okay, we'll probably lose to Purdue again.
Yeah. So
Badgers. So I tried to start paying attention to the Badgers this year. I tuned in. They were up like 15 at Nebraska at the start of the second half. I said, "Oh, this is great. This is a great." Yeah, and they were were being projected at that point as a number 2 or 3 seed. And I watched that game, and they coughed up the lead. They lost that game, and it's just been a complete free for all ever since.
Yeah, they sort of just completely fell apart.
Yeah,
from what I've reckoned. Again, at this point I mostly see tweets, and I say it's like, oh, they were the number 6 team in the country 2 weeks ago or something.
And now they're terrible. I don't know what happened. I don't watch it close enough to tell you.
I'll just tell you this, and
I know Chucky Hepburn is still on the team somehow.
I did my best.
Is that Audrey's grandson?
No.
You missed a really fun year at Welsh Ryan Arena. It was so fun. I know you don't care.
It's not accessible to where I live.
I know.
It's like
I
the
know.
worst
love
possible
Evanston.
suburb
I'd
for me
never
to get
go there.
to.
It's so hard to get to Evanston
From
anywhere besides the city.
It was stunning how much that crowd has become a fun place to go.
Where's the football team going to play?
I hope that they build. I have no idea. SeatGeek Stadium. I think that's what it's called, where the Red Stars.
Yeah.
Woof. That's a trip for.
There'll be 6 people. There'll be 6 people there, and then.
Can you play it like Lane Tech?
Not a terrible idea, but what they were talking about, at least I saw it floated, which I think is the right idea. Makeshift bleachers
at Oakton Community College.
In their practice field, which is on the back, right along the lake. I don't know if you've ever been in the back around Northwestern. It's beautiful back there.
This is the new practice facility. That's new?
The practice facility is indoors, but they've got fields back there, and if you put makeshift bleachers around the fields that they practice on, 16,000 is what it was. Somebody did a study on it. 16,000 makeshift bleachers right on the lake in the back of their campus would be awesome. I don't know how would park everybody and all that stuff, but that's the best idea.
Well, can't they park where Ryan Field's parking would be, or is it not close enough?
It's a long walk. You couldn't walk it. I mean, you could,
construction going on there.
And there's construction. They'd have to figure it out. I don't know.
Shuttles.
Listen, that's what I would do. But they're probably gonna end up playing some games at Soldier, some games at Wrigley, some game at SeatGeek.
Oh no! How many years is this happening?
2. But they're gonna have that thing's gonna be sweet. So they're building a new softball stadium. We can start in the show now, but
this is great. Let's talk Northwestern's facilities.
They've got great facilities.
Listen, all I know is that I'd rather talk Lawrence Benedetto. Actually, I wouldn't, but I would talk Lawrence Benedetto's eateries, his beef place, your pizza place, all your things.
Well,
CHGO food.
I mean, obviously we like Salerno's around here, but I do have other pizza spots. But beef is Al's. I mean, not Al's. What am I talking about? It's Johnny's. Hate Al's. Al's, their jar's not good. Too many red pepper flakes in their jar.
Oh. Yeah. You inadvertently recommended the one place you dislike.
Correct. Yeah. I don't know why I said that. I guess it's.
Where'd you take your daughter for the pizza recently that you liked?
Oh, Frank's.
Frank's
How was
Pizzeria. It was amazing.
I heard it's expensive.
I don't know
they're all expensive.
Who you heard this from?
It's over $30, right, for a pie?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Don't go anywhere else other than Salerno's, who sponsors us, and we love it, and it's delicious. And I'd kill to have one right now.
Yeah, Salerno's. Yeah, I'll be honest. it's a little upsetting that there wasn't Salerno's brought in today by sales guy Jim and his terrible takes. It is Pie Day. You'd think that this company would have supported Pie Day by talking to our pizza supplier and brought some over, but that didn't happen.
What is a good sandwich by the Northwestern campus? We're actually getting Northwestern chats. That's amazing.
Well, John,
if you're looking burger, hot dog, chicken, beef, you want to go to the Little Island on Grosse Pointe and Central. It used to be Mustard's Last Stand, but that place has gone way downhill.
and then what's the place with
Izzo's.
the S? Why the Greek place, the breakfast spot?
Sarkis?
Sarkis.
Sarkis is
Still there?
amazing. Downtown Evanston, I don't know
I mean,
as
just
well.
give me Buff Joe's for wings all day.
Oh, well,
every
that's
day.
a staple. And, you know, Hecky's has stood the test of time, too. So, the original Walker Brothers
The
over
burger
there.
place is Edzo's?
No, that's a sandwich place. The burger place is the Little Island.
I know. You're talking about Edzo's. Yeah, that
that
was
place
up
is pretty
there,
good.
right? Yeah.
The Little Island is delicious. The guy that's running it is not the friendliest guy on the
And
planet. but,
Skokes is saying Frankie's on Belmont. I mean, it's Frank's Pizzeria, but yes, 6500 West Belmont, and it's phenomenal tavern style.
I'm a Spooky Kitty says it's Home Run Inn as good as their frozen pizzas are. I haven't been to Home Run Inn in probably 20 years, but I remember it being good.
Well, we don't have the original.
The
original
one
was
on the
down-
south side.
Yeah, I think that one's pretty good. We have like one of the chain ones by us. And
How are
I
those?
went there once. It's got a drive-through, which I think is insane. Like obviously you have to order ahead, right? You can't just go in there and order a pizza and then sit there for 20 minutes. It's fine. It was just like really expensive, and I was like, eh.
Yeah.
I'll throw in one underrated tavern style is Marie's on Lawrence. You ever been there?
Oh,
heard
it's
good
like a
things.
grocery, or it's connected
Next
to
to a
a
liquor
liquor
store.
store. I love
Yeah.
that place.
That place is phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
That's a good one. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, join us next week for more pizza recommendations.
I mean, honestly, it's the only way to go.
Thanks for tuning
Honestly,
in.
Vito Nick's, I went there recently. It kind of, I don't know.
Okay.
I went to Vito Nick's 2 like a year ago. It was phenomenal. I was like, oh my God, thank God. And then I went to the original Vito and Nick's. I was a little underwhelmed.
I liked it, but I didn't love it. But I never sat down and ate it there, which I think you got to do to really know.
I did. Had my old style to go with it.
There you go.
Gotcha.
Oops, wrong company.
All right. Hit that like button on the way out. Thanks for joining us. Mark the Carman, Lawrence Benedetto. I'm Kevin Kaduk. Thanks for joining us.
We all silly like the mayor.